Okay, good morning and welcome to the Musings of a Madman. I am your host, the last operator of the universe, and today is Saturday morning. So we're going to talk about, okay, it has nothing to do with Saturday. I'm going to talk about my few encounters with dogs, the dog species, and how it ended up for me. And to lead us into this, I'll tell you a story. The story is a grim fairy tale, and it's known as, it's a grim fairy tale by the title of The Wolf and the Seven Little Kids. Once upon a time, there was an old goat who had 7 little kids, and she loved them so much. She loved them more than anything in the world. And one day she had to go out and get some woods she had to go out in the woods and get some food for her kids. And so she told them before she left, I am going out, please take care of yourself, please do not let the wolf in. He'll come here disguised, and he will devour you whole, skin, hair, and all. So please do not let him in. You'll know he's a wolf because you'll have a very rough voice and you'll have black feet. And so the kid said, don't worry, mother, we'll be careful and we won't let the wolf in. Now the mother, the old goat was happy with this, so she left the kids alone to go get some food for them. And not a moment after she's gone, right? Not long after she's gone, the wolf is already knocking at the door. Kids, it's your mommy, please let me in. I brought back something for you. And the kids immediately can tell that this is not their mom, and they go like, no, wolf, we won't let you, we know it's you, and we won't let you in. We know it's you because of your rough voice. So the wolf leaves, and he goes to the shopkeeper and he gets himself some chalk. Some chalk or charcoal. Yeah, it was charcoal. He goes and gets himself some charcoal. He chews on it to make his voice sweeter, and he goes back to the kids. And he knocks on the door again. Dear little kids, please let me in. It's your mother. She's back with some things for you. And the kids say, no, we won't let you in, wolf. We know it's you, because apparently the wolf had put his paws on the window. So they're like, yeah, we know it's you. Our mother does not have black paws. The wolf was dejected, but he's a persistent little bastard. So he leaves, and he goes to find, what the hell do you call that? He goes to a bakery and has the baker mold some dough onto his feet. And then he goes to a miller farmer and he gets a millet, whatever. He gets his feet whitened up, his paws whitened up. And now the wolf is ready. This is round 3. He goes back to the house with his white feet and his sweet voice, and he knocks on the door. Kids, please let me in. It's your mommy. I brought something for you. And the kids open the door. They're like, yay, they're so happy. And lo and behold, when they open the door, it's the wolf. So immediately the kids just scatter. The 7 little kids scatter. The first one went under the table. The second one went into the kitchen. The third one hid in the stove. The fourth one hid in the bathroom. The fifth one hid, where else? Jeez. In the living room. And the sixth, okay, all that matters. The seventh one hides in the clock tower. And as the wolf goes about finding them one by one, he doesn't waste time, and he eats each and every one of them whole as he goes along. And he can't find the last one, the one in the clock tower. And by this time, the wolf is like, yeah, I'm well fed, let me just go home, But on his way home, he relaxes under a tree and he falls asleep, and he just sleeps there. Meanwhile, the mother comes home and she finds the door flung wide open, the house and the tables and everything is just all messed up. And clearly something has happened. She's so worried. She calls out to her kids one by one. And when she gets to the last one, the youngest name, he calls out from the clock tower, Mommy, I'm here, I'm in the clock tower. So she gets him out, and she talks to him, and he tells her that the wolf came and he ate his brothers and sisters. The mommy is so sad, she wants to cry, but she somehow decides to go look for the wolf, and she finds the wolf lying under the tree, fast asleep, and she's still saddened because this is the wolf that killed her kids. So as she gets closer, she sees something bulging out of the wolf's belly, and she wonders, could my kids still be alive in there? So she calls the youngest to go get a pair of scissors. He comes back with a pair of scissors, and she slices open the wolf's belly, and not long after she's made the hole big enough, one of the kids pops out, just jumps out, and they're alive. One by one, she pulls them out, and once she's got all her 6 kids out, she obviously has to trick the wolf into thinking he still has kids in his belly. So what she does is she gets some rocks and just stuffs them in there, and then sews the wolf up. And for them, they lived happily ever after. Sorry. So the wolf wakes up, and he doesn't feel it's a fairy tale, so he doesn't know that he's been cut open. He doesn't realize something is amiss. He gets up, and as he's walking around, he realizes instead of kids knocking around in his belly, he feels something hard and loud, right? And the stones make him thirsty, so he makes his way to the river. And this is when the wolf notices something is amiss, and he goes like, what is it? There was a poem. He goes like, I thought I had little kids in my belly, but it's not. It feels like stones. It was very catchy, very rhymey. There were like 4 lines. I didn't memorize it. So the wolf gets to the river. He gets to the river, and he decides to take some water, and he falls in and drowns. And then the little kids apparently see this, or they hear about this, and they start dancing for joy. They start singing and chanting, "The wolf is dead, the wolf is dead," And the end. And the reason why I told you a story about the wolf is because I'm telling you stories about dogs, essentially. And I think the first experience I can remember with dogs was, and mind you, I haven't had very favorable experiences with dogs. I haven't had good or bad experiences per se. They were just sort of balanced. But the bad ones stick out more. The first bad one I can remember is I was crossing. It was back in Rundu, and I was crossing through a friend's yard. Probably not a friend, since his or her dog chased me. Anyways, I was crossing through a friend's yard because it was a shortcut across the road, across the other side of the road. So as I'm crossing through, this dog chases me, and I book, man. I'm running for my life. And as I climb over the fence to escape, it sort of scratches my leg. Yeah, there was no blood drawn, no skin tear. It was just fine, but it was still traumatizing either way. The second experience I had with dogs was when me and my friend, I can't even remember his name. We were toddlers, essentially. So a friend of mine and I are walking down the street, and this dog comes bounding out of its yard. The gate was wide open for some reason, bounding out of the yard, coming towards us, and we run. And I immediately jump up the tree, but my friend doesn't make it, and he gets caught by the wolf, and he just tears into his leg. It was horrible. Then the owner came, pulled the dog off, and I looked down at my friend's leg, and I can see like a piece of bone sticking out, or just what looked like bone. All I remember now that it just looked white, so I assumed it must be bone. Could have been skin, whatever. And anyways, the kid gets taken to the hospital, bandaged up, and he was fine after that. Third experience with dogs was when I wanted a dog. Now, mind you, I told my parents I want a pet, I want a dog. And they were like, no, you're allergic to dogs, blah, 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 blah. But I was not allergic to dogs, boys and girls. I actually had I had played with my friend's dogs, and I realized this is not true. But, it was a no, so for some reason I accepted that. So this third experience was when me and my friend sort of got puppies for a day, and I named mine B-Rex. You know, we each had names for our dogs. I named mine B-Rex, and for that whole day, right, we went on walks. I went around calling him to me and stuff. It was freaking awesome, you know. It was honestly one of the best days of my life. Having a puppy was just generally awesome. Okay, it was cool. But by the end of the day, I could not take the puppy home, so B-Rex had to go back to the owner. And that was the end of that. I never saw B-Rex again. And the fourth and significant interaction with the dog is one I had with my brother. We had visit. It was holiday time, I think grade 7. So I was about 14 and he was about 7. And we had just, it was the December holidays, and we had gone to the coast to go stay with my dad for the holidays. And that day, me and him were just walking around, we're exploring the neighborhood, right? And the neighborhood had these like low rising walls, you know, they're about, I think, thigh height or something. At my height now, it's about thigh height, and you can just easily jump over and everything. So it's quite easily accessible. You can see inside the yard and all that. So we're walking towards a corner house, or beside a corner house, and I look into the yard there and I see this massive wolf-like dog, man. You know, it might have been a husky at this point, but at that time it was a wolf. So I see, let's call it a wolf from now on. So I see the wolf in the yard, and it's just walking around chilling, and I mean, I don't feel threatened, you know, it's just in the yard. But this is a massive corner house, and what you need to imagine, I saw the wolf and then I paid no mind after that. So as we're walking towards the edge of the corner, right, as we get around the corner, I see the wolf is outside the yard, okay? The wolf has somehow managed to fucking escape. And I look at my brother and I'm like, we cannot run this. He's 7 years old, I'm 14. I could have probably made it, but he could not have. So I look at my brother and I'm like, shit, we're in trouble. So I just tell him, look, let's turn around and let's run. You know, I told him we're in danger now. We need to be very careful, and we need to be very proactive right now. So I tell my brother, look, let's run. Boom. So we go back around the corner, back where we came from, and we start booking for it. We start running. And in the back of my mind, I realized there's no ways we can make this. So I'm like, I pick him up and I put him on the wall, and I'm like, okay, here, you run from here. And we start running. And I think halfway through the yard's length, I look back, and thankfully the dog isn't chasing us anymore. And yeah, I mean, it was sort of scary for a while. You know, I picked my brother up off the wall, put him back on the pavement, and we never walked in that direction again. And that's the end, I guess. Thanks for having me, and enjoy your Saturday, guys.